Olivia Bennet stared at her reflection in the elevator's mirrored walls, adjusting her blazer one last time. At 32, she had built Phoenix Technologies from the ground up, but now everything was at risk. The investors wanted stability, and in their eyes, a single female CEO meant uncertainty. The elevator doors opened to the busy coffee shop where she always gathered her thoughts before big meetings. The aroma of fresh coffee filled the air as she waited in line, mentally rehearsing her presentation. That's when she heard a small voice behind her. "Daddy, can I have hot chocolate with extra marshmallows?" Olivia turned to see a little girl with bright eyes and pigtails tugging at her father's sleeve. The man, dressed in casual business attire, smiled down at his daughter. Something about his warm brown eyes and gentle demeanor caught Olivia's attention. "Just one marshmallow today," Gracie said, ruffling her hair. Olivia found herself staring. The man noticed and gave her a polite nod. "I'm Lucas Wright," he introduced himself, "and this is Grace." Before Olivia could respond, her phone buzzed. Another message from the board. They wanted to know if she had reconsidered their suggestion about finding a partner to present a more stable image. In that moment, looking at Lucas and his daughter, an idea struck her. It was crazy, desperate even, but it might work. "Mr. Wright," she said, her heart racing, "I have an unusual proposition for you. Would you be interested in helping me save my company?" Lucas raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "I'm listening." "I need you to pretend to be my husband," Olivia blurted out, then quickly lowered her voice. "In return, I can help Grace get into Westbrook Academy. I'm on the board." Lucas's eyes widened, and Grace looked between them curiously. The coffee shop buzzed around them, but in that moment, time seemed to stand still as Lucas considered her unexpected proposal. 2 weeks into their arrangement, Olivia and Lucas attended their first major corporate gala together. She watched in amazement as he charmed everyone they met, his hand resting naturally on her back as they moved through the crowd. For someone who had never been in the corporate world, played the role perfectly. "Your husband is delightful," whispered Margaret, one of the key investors. "Such a wonderful father, too. You to make a perfect match." Olivia felt her chest tighten. The lie was working too well. Back at her penthouse apartment, where Lucas and Grace now spent time to maintain their cover, something unexpected was happening. Grace had claimed the guest room as her own, filling it with stuffed animals and books. Double quotes, "Olivia, can you help me with my science project?" Grace asked one evening, spreading her materials across the dining table. Olivia found herself sitting beside the little girl, explaining the solar system while Lucas cooked dinner in her barely used kitchen. The scent of pasta sauce filled the air as Lucas hummed softly. He had insisted on cooking real meals instead of her usual takeout. "A family needs proper dinners," he had said, making her heart skip a beat. That night after Grace went to bed, Lucas and Olivia sat on her balcony. The city lights sparkled below them. "Why did you never marry?" Lucas asked quietly. Olivia gripped her wine glass tighter. "My ex-fiancé chose my best friend instead. After that, I buried myself in work." Lucas turned to her, his eyes sincere. His loss? The moment felt too real. Olivia stood up abruptly. "We should practice our story for tomorrow's board meeting." But as she walked away, she caught her reflection in the window. For the first time in years, she saw herself smiling. It scared her more than any business challenge ever had. The trouble began at the annual tech conference. Daniel Pierce, CEO of rival company Vertex Systems, cornered Olivia near the refreshment table. "Interesting marriage you have there," he smirked, showing her his phone. No marriage license on record for Olivia Bennet and Lucas Wright. What would the investors think? Olivia maintained her composure, but her hands shook as she walked away. She found Lucas talking to a group of executives, Grace playing on her tablet nearby. "We need to talk," she whispered. Pulling him aside, before she could explain, Grace ran up to them. "Look what I made!" She held up a family drawing, Lucas, herself, and Olivia standing together, hearts floating above them. "That's beautiful, sweetheart," Lucas said. But his eyes were on Olivia's pale face. Later that evening, Lucas discovered something unexpected while checking Olivia's calendar for their next event. Her foundation had been quietly paying tuition for dozens of single parents' children. "Why didn't you tell anyone about this?" he asked when she returned from a late meeting. "Because they would use it against me," Olivia replied. "They'd say, I'm too emotional, too invested in charity instead of profits." "That's ridiculous," Lucas argued. "It shows you have heart." Their voices rose, echoing through the apartment. Grace appeared in her pajamas, clutching her stuffed rabbit. "Are you getting divorced like my friend Katie's parents?" she asked, tears in her eyes. The question hit them both hard. Olivia knelt beside Grace. "No, sweetie, we're just talking." But as she comforted the little girl, Olivia realized their pretense had become something far more complicated. She was no longer just risking her company, she was risking her heart. Worse, she was risking breaking Grace's. The annual shareholders meeting became their downfall. Daniel Pierce stood up during Olivia's presentation, waving documents in the air. "Your CEO has been lying to all of you," he announced. "Her marriage is a sham. I have proof." The room erupted in chaos. Investors whispered, board members frowned, and cameras flashed. Olivia stood frozen at the podium, watching her world crumble. Then Lucas walked onto the stage. He took the microphone, his voice steady and clear. "Yes, our marriage started as an arrangement," he admitted. "But something real grew from it. I've watched Olivia work 8-hour days, not for profit, but to protect her employees' jobs. I've seen her help countless families through her foundation." The room fell silent. Olivia stared at him, tears threatening to fall. "She taught my daughter about the stars," Lucas continued. "She made space in her life for a little girl who lost her mother. The woman I know isn't just a CEO, she's someone who makes the world better, but the damage was done." The board called for an immediate vote of no confidence. Olivia walked out of the building, her heels clicking on the marble floor for what she thought would be the last time she found Grace waiting in the lobby with her nanny. The little girl ran to her, wrapping her arms around Olivia's waist. "Please don't leave us," Grace begged. Olivia knelt down, her carefully maintained composure breaking. "Grace, I'm so sorry. I never meant to hurt you." "Then don't," Lucas said, appearing behind them. "Stay. Not for the company, not for appearances, but for us. Because somewhere along the way, this stopped being pretend." Olivia looked up at him, seeing the truth in his eyes. The company might be lost, but something far more valuable was waiting to be found. The next morning, Lucas arrived at the emergency board meeting carrying a thick folder. As a financial advisor, he had spent the night analyzing Phoenix Technologies' books. "Your CEO didn't just build a company," he told the board. "She built a legacy. Her foundation work has created valuable tax benefits and positive press worth millions. The stock price has tripled under her leadership." In the hallway, Grace sat with Olivia, holding her hand. "Daddy always says the truth wins," she whispered. The boardroom doors opened. The chairman stepped out, looking serious. "Ms. Bennett, we owe you an apology. Mr. Wright's presentation was enlightening. The vote of no confidence has been withdrawn." Olivia stood, speechless. Lucas walked over, taking her hand. "I have one condition for helping save your company," he said. "Go to dinner with me." A real dinner? No pretending. That evening, they sat at a small restaurant, Grace between them. "Are we going to be a real family now?" she asked, hope shining in her eyes. Olivia looked at Lucas, seeing all the answers she needed in his smile. "We already are," she said. 1 month later, Olivia stood at a podium again. This time she announced a new initiative, the Phoenix Foundation, dedicated to supporting single-parent families. The press captured the moment Lucas walked on stage and got down on one knee. "No pretending this time," he said, holding out a ring. "Marry me, for real." Grace bounced excitedly beside them as Olivia said yes, tears of joy streaming down her face. The headlines next day read, "CEO finds love while changing lives." But the real story was simpler. A woman who thought she needed a fake husband found a real family instead. They married in spring, with Grace as their flower girl. And this time when Lucas kissed the bride, there was nothing pretend about it.